Congressman John Lewis was to be here. He's tied up, and we're not sure he's going to make it. So I turn to our next speaker, Kelly Dougherty, an Iraq veteran who served in Hungary, Croatia, Kuwait, and Iraq, and is the co-founder of Iraq Veterans Against the War. Kelly.
Well, I'd like to thank everyone for coming here today. I served for 8 years in the Colorado Army National Guard as a medic and military police, and in Iraq, I was military police sergeant and spent my days out on the streets patrolling and escorting convoys. Over my 10 months in Iraq, I left in February of 2004. I saw what at first was a tenuous hope on the part of the Iraqis turn into a frustration, anger, and mistrust of the U.S. forces. I saw our military bases being enlarged and improved, while meanwhile I would drive through Iraqi villages that were still living in abject poverty with little reliable access to water, to electricity, medical care, fuel, and even a basic sense of security. I saw how quickly my fellow soldiers' desire to help the Iraqi people turned into reactionary violence and scorn and mistreatment of civilians. I witnessed an Iraqi grandfather throw himself on the ground repeatedly in anguish after seeing his family sitting in stunned silence around the body of their dead 10-year-old son who'd been run over and left by a U.S. convoy. I saw Iraqi women crying out in terror as we searched their homes and took away their young sons in handcuffs. I was ordered to burn and destroy corporate fuel tanker trucks while nearby Iraqis waited in lines miles long just to fill up their vehicles with fuel. I saw what freedom and democracy opposed at the point of a gun and a bomb looked like for the Iraqi people. I left Iraq in February of 2004. That's 2.5 years ago. And when I left with the sense that we needed to stop the occupation of Iraq, that was the only answer, and that we were causing the chaos, we were causing the violence, that we could not prevent it because everyone we accidentally killed at a checkpoint, everyone we imprisoned wrongly who was tortured and left to rot in prison cells for months, came out more determined to get us out of their country. Now it's over 3 years since this war has started, and we've lost hundreds of thousands of lives. And I don't want to focus specifically on the lives of my fellow brothers and sisters in arms. I want to focus on the lives of everyone in Iraq who has given their lives because of this policy of warfare and of violence. Later today, I'm getting ready to meet with a friend. He already spent a year in Iraq, and he's getting ready to go over a second time. And I feel like sometimes when I talk to people who are the decision makers, it's easy for them to say, well, maybe we shouldn't have gone there, but the situation now is so bad, so we have to fix it. We just have to fix it. And people have been telling me this for the past 2.5 years, and the situation now is worse and bloodier and more horrible than anyone could have ever imagined, myself included. And I can't look into my friend's eyes tonight and say, well, you're getting ready to go back into Iraq, and you made it out the first time alive, and you might not make it out this time alive, and you just found out that your friend went over there for a second time and got hit by a grenade after 5 days. But you know, this is what you have to do because we're gonna win over there. I can't look into the eyes of an Iraqi woman who's had her son dragged away for no reason and imprisoned and tortured for 8 months and tell her, well, this is the price that you need to pay for freedom and democracy for your people. I can't look into my friend's face who just got back from spending 3 months with her family in Basra and experiencing what it was like for her family living under occupation and say, just give us a little more time. We really have good intentions. When I was in Colorado on active duty, waiting to get sent over to Kuwait for the invasion, I watched the State of the Union address, and I watched myself and everyone in that room being lied to that we needed to go to Iraq because they had weapons of mass destruction and connections to September 11th. And I think it's important when we talk about why we need to get out of Iraq to look at, in order to be successful, we're going under the assumption that our government and our military ever had the intention of helping the Iraqi people. And when you start an occupation and a war based on false pretenses and misinformation, that shows there is never any goodwill, never any good intention on our part. And that's why Every single day, soldiers are dying, Iraqis are dying, and this madness needs to stop, and we need to keep speaking out in whatever way we can, because there comes a time when silence is complicity, and I can't remain silent. Thank you.